My name is George Altendorfer, and my serial number is, Army serial number is 55278908, and I was drafted in the service in 1952.
And what war did you serve in?
It was the Korean War. Well, I started in August of 1952, and then I got out in August of 54.
Okay. How old were you when you were drafted?
19. They sent a letter. First you had to go and have a physical, and then they went and they sent you a letter when they wanted you.
What exactly was your position in the war?
Well, I was a radar operator. We tracked artillery and mortar shells. We went through the air to locate the weapon. As a radar operator, you watched the radar scope, and then at that time, when a missile would show up, you would go and you had two wheels. One was azimuth, and the other one was range, and you'd wind them out, and then when they fired another shell, you pulled it out on automatic, and then they tracked the shell. In training, we went and we trained on 90 millimeter anti-aircraft guns, and then after our training, then they put us into a counter mortar radar unit, which was a new unit. They just started it. In the Korean War, 50% of the casualties were from mortar shells, where they shoot them up and they just fall on the troops. And that's what we tracked to try to locate where the mortar was being fired from, and then they would go and they'd take that information back to artillery, and they would go and they'd plot it, and then they could shoot on that spot where it came from. We had to pull guard duty every night. You pulled 2 hours of guard duty and 4 off. And I did that for 7.5 months, steady, every night.
How often did you get to shower?
Well, at one time I went 3 months without a bath. They pumped the water out of the stream, and then they ran it through a boiler, and then this guy would regulate how much water was going in the boiler, and most of the time it was either too hot or too cold. If it got too hot, they'd yell, "It's too hot, it's too hot." It was in a tent. And in the winter time too,
Was it hard saying goodbye to your family and stuff?
No, it wasn't. I was, most of the time, I was never away from home, and when I left, it never bothered me. But a lot of guys that did in the service, it bothered them a lot to be away from home.
What did you guys eat?
Basically, they gave you sea rations a lot. It was like canned pork and beans, or hash, or spaghetti, little cans, and they used to just drop them in water and heat them up.
What exactly is hash?
It's potatoes and meat, and I don't know. I couldn't eat it.
It's all together?
It's all together. And a lot of the sea rations were from 1942. They were 10 years old.
Couldn't you get food poisoning then if you ate that?
No, not as long as it's canned.
The people back home, do they send you letters?
Oh, and my mother used to write, and my sisters and that.
What was it like coming back home?
Well, you got on the ship. We got on the ship at Seoul in Korea, and we went down the Yellow Sea around the tip of the Korea, and up past Japan and up towards Alaska. We made a big S. It took us 17 days to get back. In front of you, they laid out mines. They put the mines about that far apart. They were what they called bouncing betsies. They were 3 prongs sticking up, and they'd bury them in so that just the guys would step on them and they kick up and they go off. Some places they had maybe a block of those, a whole city block ahead of you. they had thousands of those in some of those positions.